computer. There we go. We're recording. So, do we have a volunteer to start with your what you're grateful for, your gain for the week, and then move right into how this chapter impacted you? Dorothy, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. My gain is definitely getting my refrigerator. After 8 days, you don't realize how inconvenient it is. And of course, I thought for sure that I'd be able to stick to the 5-in-1 really good.
Yeah.
But the frustration of it didn't help. So I'm half and half had a good week. Now in the reading, there was one sentence that I thought stood out to me. And that's the one that says, visualization has less to do with seeing actual pictures in our minds and more to do with being there in the experience. And he's talking to that in reference to, I think, remembering things in the relationship. It's sometimes it's frustrating to go back to where you know that you've made a mistake and that you have to figure out how to make up for it, which we've all done in relationships. So I that was one that really stood out for me. Yeah.
I did. I mean, this chapter, it spoke to me in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
especially in relationships. I remember that, the story that he tells about thinking about everything he had to do. And yeah. And then he realized that his wife had been talking to him about something that morning and she sounded stressed. And then he said he's busy serving and taking care of everyone else except the person that matters most to him. And
yeah. Yes. And I thought that was really intuitive of him to call and say, let me bring home dinner.
yeah, and then got her flowers. I mean, he showed how it actually worked in process.
Yes. Yes.
Who you picked?
Lisa?
Me?
Yeah.
No, the other Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Dorothy.
Oh, so I have another shingles outbreak.
Oh no.
No.
I'm on fire. And tomorrow is my mother's birthday, so I think I've shared this month around just grief around, dad's birthday, brother's birthday, mom's birthday. And, of course you miss them always and you have beautiful reminders of them always. I guess I'm having a little bit of a grief pity party, and that stress. And it's funny because what did you learn about yourself in our reading is, and I actually wrote this last week. It's kind of paradoxical reading it now, but I like to give myself I'm going to give myself, call my win that I am improved. I'm showing improvement in feeling my emotions, recognizing my icky sauce, like Dr. Anderson mentions quite frequently, the icky sauce. I'm better about saying, ooh, that's some icky sauce. And then I feel better equipped to navigate through it. But it's still painful, y'all. But I think old me would have just kept traveling through it like a car with its check engine light on. And I'm counting it as a win that I'm acknowledging. And I feel like I'm navigating through it better. But this is my first shingles outbreak in a good long while. So I'll also count that as a win that I don't have. And I feel like this is completely brought on by stress. I mean, I believe it's completely stress related, but this time I was feeling bad, but I wasn't paying attention and I didn't catch it coming on and I didn't medicate early. So now that makes it worse. But I do feel like I'm making progress in recognizing icky sauce and being more proactive about navigating, feeling it first feeling it, like, woe is me, and then, okay, what am I gonna do now? So, and I'm gonna pick Ruth Hannah next.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
I think
Lisa.
my win of the week, I have a lot of wins this week. I had to have unexpected surgery last week, and on Monday I found out that my pathology was all negative, so I'm perfectly healthy. Yay me.
Yay.
And that was very exciting. And I think what I learned, what are we doing that part too? I'm just gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and do
what
it
I
because I've started down this part now, is I sometimes lack inspiration. And I was really drawn to all the parts in here about inspiring. And my favorite card that I got from, other than the ones from David, was from a colleague who wrote me once that I inspire him. And it's like, you know what? I think he's on my heart and he's who I'm going to reach out to today. So that
Oh,
is that. Thank you. And I nominate Bob.
Good morning. Okay.
morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. My game is my wife went out of town, but then my daughter came in and filled in the void. So my daughter's home for about a month. She's taken her step 2 exam, which is a medical exam for the last year of med school. So she's home this week and filled in that gap left by my wife leaving and my dog dying.
oh no.
So yeah, but yeah, it's good to have her home. And even though I don't see her a whole lot because she's in her room studying the whole time. So
Yeah,
you can see I'm in a different room than I normally am.
you are.
She kicked me out of my room, but it's good to have her home and have her there.
How old is
Um,
she, Bob?
She is 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's she going to school?
She's Emory down in
Oh, okay.
Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah, so she's smarter than I am, but that's all right.
I doubt smarter, maybe more educated, but I doubt smarter.
There you go. And I really relate to the gymnast story in the chapter. Of course, I was a gymnast for 12, 14 years, somewhere in there. So I could really relate to him thinking about the competition venue, getting focused in on perfecting the routine and doing it over and over and over again. I could really relate to him. And I actually know Peter Vidmar, and competed with him. He was a little bit older than me, but he was a few years ahead of me, but we competed in a lot of the same gymnastics meets. So I did know.
Oh,
Yeah, yes.
I could relate to that one.
yeah. Well, I liked how, I think it's what the whole chapter is about, the visualization that they do and how we all hear about it. They call it manifestation. There's a movement about how to manifest in your life what you want. And it's really the same creation that he's describing here in the book. And it's to what can you create? How is the best way to create it? And how will it serve others? And I think I know for me, I'm very good at knowing what I want to do and figuring out how to do it. And I do serve others, but I don't think I've ever made that my third part, what I want to do, how to do it, and how is this going to serve others? Yeah.
It changed it for me because even for my clients, visualizing was always the end result and what you have to look forward to. And in reality, it's the journey that you're rather than what size clothes you're going to wear, or it is how it can change your life, but it's also all about visualizing the journey. And it's a little bit different than visualizing what size you're going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
and the end result and what it will change your life, but in a different way. This visualizing is the journey rather than what is accomplished at the end, like that Jeep that you want and the motorhome you want, those kinds of things. It's a different visualization, and it's
Yeah, you can see my Jeep behind me right there.
No, I know, and I have a picture of a small motorhome, but it's never gonna happen because I've changed my mind. I don't want it anymore.
We better get it out of there. I went when I was very young. Y'all may not know who Clement Stone is, but he's like an original of the personal growth people. And his company was Combined Insurance, and I went to the class to train or see if I wanted to do that sort of stuff. And while we were there, he was very much into all of these same processes. So I learned about all of this very young and from him. And they made a statement in that training class that if we thought that we were all there because they thought we were ever going to work for them and be good employees and long-time employees and stuff, said statistics didn't dictate that he was there to help us learn how to be better human beings. And so I'm sure that's exactly what that was about. It's a lot of it is visited in here. Yeah. Bob,
Yes.
who's left? I guess I'm the only one left, right?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
I think you are.
Well, my game for the week is Tony and Michael were out walking on the property, and Tony collapsed. And I was in the kitchen making breakfast for everyone. And I look out and I see EMTs running across my yard. And so I go out to see what's going on, and it's Tony. But none of them thought to tell me, get me, which is okay because he's the one who needed to be taken care of. And everything's fine. He had a UTI infection, but it ended up, that's the gain. It ended up being a dry run. And they didn't need to call the ambulance. They couldn't give them information about Tony, only I could. Now, how in the heat of the moment they didn't think to come and tell me, we know now. We have developed a process of if something happens, these are the steps that we're going to take. So that's my game for the week. And when I was reading it, so many things jumped out at me. But the one thing that left a real big impression on me last week in the meeting, I watched the recording, and Georgia was talking about an employee that she had some insight of, remember?
Yeah,
And that the employee only saw her through her going in to correct her and everything else. And then on page 172, they actually visited that. And lastly, we vividly visualize stepping into the world of each person who would be in attendance and listening to the position of each, as she genuinely focused on the opinions and needs of each person. Her anxiety completely dissipated. And I thought that was so enlightening, what Georgia shared last week in terms of what we're all knowing, and seeing things from somebody else's perspective really should probably be the second thing we do, right behind seeing things from our own perspective. Yeah. And so that's what I personally took from this chapter. That was really big. That was good. So let's go in the same order. Dorothy, you want to talk about what you would share with someone else? Did you write anything down in that regard?
I did not, but what I would share is to be attuned to other people, and especially relationships, and examine everything you do. Examine what you do, because when you think it is a never going to improve situation, if you examine what you have done and maybe change what you have done a little, thinking in terms of them, that you'll have a more successful relationship.
Yeah.
Just something that he points out. Yeah.
I remember Dr. A, that's one of the trainings he did when he was somewhere by a fireplace. But yeah, one of the thought leaders, the lady, I don't know what her name was, but she was saying that she and her husband, when she would disagree on things, that she had never really looked at it from why would he even feel this way? And Dr. Anderson was the one that brought it, but have you ever thought about it from his perspective? And so after they had that, she spoke to it again and she said that the minute she asked herself, why on earth would he feel this way? That the answer came right to her. And it really resolved conflict that they had with each other that they didn't need to have. They just had a difference of opinion. Yeah. And
Well,
both could be right.
it's so important when you have a relationship. And even in my marriage, that you can't really change the other person. You can only change yourself. And as you change yourself and make that important to make the relationship good, you're a little more successful. Yeah.
Anyone else? Got anything to contribute? Dorothy, I guess you're going to pick somebody else. And
I'm going to take Ruth Hannah.
I think what stuck most with me besides the whole inspiration thing is, if there's anyone I can serve today, put them on my path and I will serve.
yes.
And I think if I read that every morning, I might have a different day. So I think I'm going to add it to my savers. And I'm going to tag Lisa.
Oh, well, this is a lot about emotions, right? And how we're channeling our emotions. So I think if I was going to share with someone, and it would depend upon the context, is, you know, I would just point out that you are not your emotions. You know, I didn't used to view them this way, but today I view emotional flashes. I view that as information, just as tracking food, tracking steps, tracking water. I view, I'm learning, let me rephrase that, learning and being intentional about viewing my emotions as information. Okay. Even if it's joy because I'm playing with my grandkids, that's information for me to keep doing what I'm doing so I get more of that. If it's pain, okay, what am I doing that's contributing to that? What can I do to lessen it? So it's all, I'm doing information, the emotions, feelings as information. And what I would say to somebody else is, you are not your emotions. It's information. It's feedback. You can choose how to channel the emotions that you're having. And I'm going to pick Bob.
Right. Mine kind of goes back to what Dorothy was saying earlier, is stay focused on the journey, rather than the outcome. That's what I would tell somebody. In a weight loss context, you can focus all you want on your desired weight and what weight you want to be, and focus on, okay, I want to be 120 pounds, and not focus on the steps to get there. And you may get there, but if you don't focus on those steps and change the little habits on the way, focus on that journey, you're going to go right back to where you were. And in a gymnast context, I guess that's, you can focus all you want on getting a perfect 10.0, but if you don't practice each little part of your routine every day and put it all together in the same way, like you said, practice makes permanent.
Permanent, yeah.
That's the gymnast context. Don't focus on the 10.0, focus on the routine to get you to that 10.0. So that's what I would tell people. Focus on the journey, not the end state.
Yeah.
And that's the visualization of
It is the
it's
visualization.
identifying what you want.
Yeah,
And
but it's not even necessarily visualization. It is that, but it's concrete steps.
It's
yeah,
It's action.
Yeah, it is
action,
constructive
what the whole
action to
chapter
get
is
there.
about.
Yes,
Yeah.
some kind of structure, yes.
But I think visualization helps you get that structure. I think you're absolutely right, Connie. But but I think those concrete steps are important. So focus on the whole thing, visualize it, then do it over and over and over and over again. I think that's how you're
I
gonna.
know in the gymnast part, he says, why are, they each said to the other, why are you here? And then that's when they went into their visual process. And I thought about Gay because of everything she does in order to enhance our lives, our existence. And everybody showing up on Friday morning. And I had that thought of why are we here on Friday morning? And in context of this chapter, we are here to get ourselves in action. And the actions that all of us are taking, it depends on what book we're reading or if we're covering an element or something like that. So that is Gay's purpose with her Friday morning meeting and with the books, is to get all of us in action. I did have that thought, but as I was reading it, and she's out there being trained and being with other leaders and thought leaders, and she brings all of that back to us. So
Yeah.
she lives the example of serving others in order to help us know what it is we need to do and take the actions necessary to get there. I did have a thought about Gay.
Yeah, I like that, because the books we read, I mean, if you think about each of the books we read, they say that almost the same things over and over again, but in a different way, to where that specific point in this book might trigger, oh, that's what this book meant or that book meant. So it's really reading these books, I think, is part of the practice makes permanent. We
Yeah.
just continue to practice every Friday, and Gay leads us to do that. That's good.
And we all have Gay in common. That's the one thing we all have in common, is Gay. So I can wait till she gets back and hear about this trip. It's going to be fun. Who's next, Bob?
I think you're the only one left. Or did
Really?
you-
We're going through this stuff quick.
Oh, by the way, I forgot. I do have to leave at about 1:45 because I have an appointment at 9. So we're jumping out.
Okie dokie. So I highlighted what I would share with, I would use two of these. One of mine is really goes along with you, Bob, and it's a willingness to suffer for it, a willingness to roll up your sleeves, get down in the trenches, and begin the tangible work of creation. And you could take that right to our 5-in-1 program. Be willing to suffer, be willing to roll up your sleeves and get down in the trenches, you know. And it is the path that you have to take if you're wanting to accomplish anything. So I would share that with someone else. And the other one, the greater the trust we've developed and the more we can be trusted to act, the more profound the inspiration, the greater the opportunity to serve. And that is something I will definitely put into a 3x5 card and set right by my mirror. So now we have quotes. You want to start, Bob, since you're leaving early?
Sure. I have this quote just because I got a chuckle out of it, and it's actually from the scroll. It's, I will not let my life be fed to swine.
I know. I love that.
I love that quote. I got a chuckle out of it, but it's so true. It was, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was talking about the wheat grain, and you
Yeah.
can either feed it to swine, you can put it in bread.
Yes.
But if you put it in the ground and plant the seed,
It'll multiply.
that's multiply 100-fold.
My favorite part of this scroll. I love the wheat grain.
Yeah. So don't let it be swine. Plant yourself. Help others, I guess. I'll pick Ruth Hanna.
Thank you, Bob. My favorite quote was, I will always announce my goals to the world, also from the scroll. I thought that was really powerful.
Okay.
And that is not something that I always do. So I was inspired by that quote. I don't know that you'll see any
Makes you
posts from
vulnerable,
me.
doesn't it?
It does. It makes you very vulnerable.
That's
And I
that's
think about
powerful
some of my
too.
goal, it's super, yeah. And think about how powerful it is to claim it out loud, even if you don't do it. Just that you're gonna announce. I mean, think about those Olympians. I mean, they probably proclaimed their goal, and if they could have made a 9.8 instead of a 10. Granted, they might not have gotten the contracts that would have led them to be in the book in the first place. However, it's a potential outcome for them, right? And yet they announced their goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I tagged Dorothy.
Mine's from a scroll also. If it is possible for leaves and clay and wooden hair to have their volume multiplied 100, yea, 1,000-fold by woman, cannot I do the same with the clay which bears my name?
I love that.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find that.
Your
There's
name, Lisa, right?
so much.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, they just messaged me to sub another class. So my quote is right out of the book from page 191. And it's funny, I'm really crushing on these fitness tees. And I keep seeing them and getting them. And one of them that I have says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So my quote is from page 191. Dan McCormick said, if we want our life to change, we must change. If we want our life to improve, we must improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to be intentional in that.
Yes, I got that highlighted too.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I was distracted. Who hasn't gone yet?
Me, I think I'm it, right?
Okay.
And mine's real easy. It's on 182, and it's at the last sentence on the page. Be an etch a sketch. Create, erase, create, erase.
Love
That's
that.
funny. That
I
was
like
my-
that too.
if somebody,
Um,
if somebody had
Dorothy,
that.
will you repeat yours? I couldn't find it either.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I think it's the last page, I think. Wait a minute. No, it isn't. Okay. I can't find it here. It's the first page. Yeah. If it is possible for leaves and clay and wood and hair to have their value multiplied 100, yea, 1,000-fold by woman, cannot I do the same with the clay which bears my name? It's on the first page, like half.
First page,
It's
quarter way down.
it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences in to the 8th
Okay.
goal.
Yeah, I like the etch a sketch thing. Just I feel like going shaking
Yeah.
my head up.
Now that we have all spoken, is there anything that you highlighted that none of us touched on that we should touch on before we move to the next chapter?
I've got so much highlighted.
Yeah. I know I love that poem that he read to his wife. The
Oh, I
ladder.
read that. I did
Ladder.
read that. Yeah.
Would you got it, Ruth Anna?
I had it a second ago. Hold on. Did you want me to read it?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Give me
We have lots
one.
of time, so
Okay.
let's use it constructively.
All right. Let's see if I can find it fast. Ah, here we go. The ladder. At times I am frustrated, angry, annoyed. At times I am depressed and can't fill the void. At times I'm tired of working so hard every day. At times I'm withdrawn and have nothing to say. At times I feel ill from living in fear. At times I feel inferior, uncertain, unclear. At times I feel insignificant, a dead fly on the floor. At times I feel impoverished, left wanting for more. At times I'm overconfident, overindulgent, and loud. At times I'm complacent, lazy, thoughtlessly proud. At times I am wealthy as worldly things go. At times I'm undoubtedly the star of the show. Then there are times when my awareness is heightened. I climb out of the maze and my eyes are enlightened. Oh, the price that is paid by Ramona to live, the life next to me. May I climb up the ladder more often and see.
Yeah, very nice.
I had one that I had highlighted,
Uh-huh.
and it's far too often we are tempted to run too early. Love does not die, we kill it. Inspiration,
Oh.
reignite the flame. And that was on page 177.
No, I'm reading the happiness factor that Lisa mentioned a month or so ago. And I mean, it's just so painfully obvious that we function at a higher level when we are happy. And I really didn't know why that had to be pointed out to me. So we should strive to be happy in order to perform our best. Yeah. But life doesn't always give you good stuff.
That's what I'm struggling with. It's like, I have such a blessed life right now, so why am I reacting so fiercely to grief? I mean, why is this grief, I feel like is impacting me so heavily this month? Like,
Oh, but don't you think that when you feel like you're a good daughter, okay, by holding on to the memories,
mhm.
and that's part of grief. And for a little while, you'll hold on to that memory because you're thinking of them. And then that makes me, I feel like it makes me a good daughter to think
Mhm.
often. But thinking of
Oh,
mom,
I do. But I guess I just need to flip the script on it instead of, of course it's hard missing somebody, but I guess it's because it puts me in a different phase of life to be, it seems like yesterday my grandparents were still alive, my parents were still alive, and heck, even I was one of the little ones running around. Now I'm the grandparent of the little ones running around, and the tier above me is thinning out. So it just puts you in a different stage, I guess. But I do still, even as I'm grieving, just remember the good thing, the flowers they left with me, the pearls, the all of that. But it is just, I'm just acknowledging that it's hard. I mean, I'll get through it.
Did you listen to the last Conscious Leadership?
I did not.
It would, don't you, Dorothy, think that
wow, I would, when I listen to it,
It's on my list.
you imagine how other people's lives are so simple, and how you think they've really got it made,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out these people that we are above us that are training us, and we feel like they've got it together. They're some of the ones asking questions. And when they ask the questions, you think to yourself, wow, they don't have it as easy as I thought they did.
Nobody ever does.
No,
Well,
Ever.
well, Jan was the one I'm thinking of.
yeah.
I will listen to it, but
It was, I was
Dr.
shocked.
Ed- Yeah. I'm sorry, Dorothy, go ahead.
I just said I was shocked when I was listening to what she was saying and asking Dr. Anderson. I mean,
To go public and to go public. That was the big thing. I was shocked when she was there and telling
well,
the
and you
deep hurt.
well, I have these people built up in my mind as now they've reached this level, and life should be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, it was just so amazing to me that they got in there and asked these questions. It was,
Yeah.
I listened to it twice. I did.
Yeah. And well, I didn't catch it live because I had things I was doing, but I went and got it, and thank you for pointing out how important it was. And if you guys know where the conscious leaderships are, it's number 17. And it actually, I think it's titled Happy. and as good as it was that they shared,
Do you want to be happy?
do you want to be happy? That's right.
Because
Well, I'm registered, so I get all the recordings. Like
Mhm.
it'll be easy for me to find.
Well, they're also on Coach Resource too.
Yeah.
Go there.
Back to the book. You asked if there was anything else, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this because I see you flanked by your two vision boards behind you.
Mhm.
And this is something that I do all the time, but it's on in the book on page 193. It says the best dream board is a mental image indelibly imprinted upon your mind. So I find myself when I'm struggling, I have images in my mind that I go to. And those images that are, very real and visceral to me, and that pulls me back on point a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, and the only other thing that I had underlined in my book, it kind of goes back to that chicken or egg thing. I have so I must have objectives before my life will crystallize, which means you've got to have the outcome in focus as well. And then on the very next page, it says, my dreams are worthless. Yes, goal setting is dreaming, and dreaming is goal setting when we choose to use our gift of vivid visualization constructively. Otherwise, dreaming is just fantasizing. So I guess in a way, it's just saying, yes, focus on the outcome, but yes, focus on the journey. So it really is, they're codependent on each other, the
Do the
outcome
work.
and the journey.
Do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do-
right,
do the work.
exactly, yeah,
So
right.
it's, I mean, you would almost think if you read these independently, you would think, wow, he's contradicting himself, but really he's not. He's just saying the importance of
Yeah.
both and connecting the two. So
No.
that's the other thing I had underlined.
And revisiting that conscious leadership. Do you want to be happy, Lisa? That conscious leadership I was telling you about. To me, the benefit in all of those is watching Dr. Anderson interact and him giving you the feedback that he has for that particular situation. So it's his feedback to them that I saw as being beneficial to you. And that's really what's in that thought leadership that he's doing. Yeah. So now I guess we've covered the chapter. Let's cover the scroll. And Dorothy, let's start with you. And what part of the scroll do you want in scroll 8 to highlight?
So this is a good
Lord,
transition.
I got
point
a
to someone's
lot.
quarter of-
Have a
Bye,
lot.
Bob. Have a good visit.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Bye.
Tammy.
Take care.
Successful
Happy
appointment.
Red Friday.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
I
Right.
have so much, highlighted, and of course I can't see very good here in the kitchen. I guess I would have to say, and how will I accomplish this? First, I will set goals for the day, the week, the month, the year, and my life, just as the rain must fall before the wheat will crack its shield and sprout. So I must have objective before my life will crystallize. And then, of course, it goes on to talking about goals, but yeah, I'm working on my goals. And in fact, I'm going back to getting things done, the book. Because in the turmoil of everything to do with my refrigerator,
Uh-huh.
I have felt like I'm in a circus here, it has upset the apple cart, and that's only because I'm not organized. So I've been trying to get myself organized, and I really, that's the story of my life, right? But I feel like I don't have these goals identified, like in the book, getting things done by when they need to be done and get them off my mind. Because you can't keep thinking about all the things that need to be done, because things happen and that money goes for something else. So then you gotta change your goals. So I'm working on that. Yeah.
Well, for so long, Dorothy, your first, foremost, and pretty much always was your mother.
Oh,
So now you're having to reestablish yourself and your patterns and things.
well, I have a house full of her stuff now added to a house full of stuff that I needed to put into a yard sale. And it's really, I gave the bed away though. I had 4 different people that called to get the bed, and 3 of them qualified for Medicare. And I told them, I said, you don't want a used bed because you can qualify for a brand new one. Well, this particular person, he doesn't qualify for Medicare, and he lost his leg to diabetes. And it breaks my heart to hear it. And according to the daughter, he's a very stubborn person and he won't do anything about it, but he was able to take the bed. And you know, he was just in a regular bed, and now he has my mother's bed. So I got rid of that.
That was wonderful.
That was in front of my cupboard down there, and now I can get into my cupboards.
Oh, that's good.
And I feel like I've even established a relationship with his daughter. We talked several times on the phone, and her dad was just super excited about getting the bed. So you know, it's kind of a win-win for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but for me, I think that that's kind of pertinent, setting the goals again.
Yeah.
But not even just the year, you know, the monthly goals.
Uh-huh.
I'm going back to the filing system that he taught us. And trying to be able to grasp a piece of paper that has the information I need without having to look through other things, which is a waste of time. So, yeah. And I think I do need a little more of this goal setting that he's recommending in the scroll. So, and
Lisa, what do you want to share out of scroll 8?
I really like the wheat grain, and in that section where it talks about you have to plant to grow and multiply, it is necessary to plant the wheat grain in the darkness of the earth, and my failures, despairs, and my ignorance. So at the end of that section, he says, but to grow to full stature, the wheat must wait on the winds of nature. I like the part that says, I need not wait, for I have the power to choose my own destiny. But that whole little paragraph there speaks to me. I got an email.
Read it in its entirety.
Okay.
The paragraph. We have time.
To grow and multiply, it is necessary to plant the wheat grain in the darkness of the earth, and my failures, my despairs, my ignorance, and my inabilities are the darkness in which I have been planted in order to ripen. Now, like the wheat grain, which will sprout and blossom only if it is nurtured with rain and sun and warm winds, I too must nurture my body and mind to fulfill my dreams. But to grow to full stature, the wheat must wait on the whims of nature. I need not wait, for I have the power to choose my own destiny. And that speaks to me, man, because so I have this email right here. This is from Metfit, who I have subcontracted to do Zumba through. Y'all, I have done Aqua Zumba. I have been successfully doing True Zumba for a while. They're reaching out to me more and more to sub, and she knows that I have not done a Zumba Gold class, like a standing class, but that I'm aspiring to it. So now I have a deadline on that because I am subbing a gold class on May 30th and June 6th. So I have to get on the stick. And that's where that darkness and I have the power, because I've already been working on it, but it is intense work, just having your sneakers on and being in, you know, first you have to put together a playlist, right? and there's so much music. So I'm working on a playlist, but I have to dedicate time in order to show up well for that and to grow and help others and to grow myself. It's going to require dedicated time, just moving to the music, just to what I pick, learning it, and just, I don't have to wait for somebody else to do that. I get to do that. Am I feeling really great right now? I did do part of a standing class. I did like a half seated, half standing class. So in 3 days, I learned 5 new choreographies. And then the morning of class, I felt sick. I had stage fright. I was like, please don't let me trip on my feet. I show up there and there was a guy in a wheelchair and I'm like, oh, and I'm doing this partially standing, but y'all, it's all good. We have the power to grow, and you know, while I'm working on my health coach business, this is part of that because it keeps me healthy, and it's part of what they're always talking about being out there networking. So I can't think of a better way to network. And oh, by the way, none of this would be possible had Aunt Connie not decided at what age to become a Zumba instructor. Aunt Connie, you were what, 68 when you
I
started
think,
it?
yeah,
Huh?
I think 68, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
had never
fun.
heard of Zoom. I had never heard of it,
Yeah.
and because she chose to grow herself, and I think at the time also to have more networking for the health coaching business, then I remember the struggle in the beginning and her classes and how I just chose to step out of my comfort zone, and it's blessed me.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it's like the wheat. You know, you've seen the time lapses of flowers growing and how they have to push to get into the sunlight.
Yeah.
I'm pushing now.
Yeah.
Is it Ruth Hannah now?
Do you
I think
think
so.
a
Okay.
contributing factor in your shingles?
No.
That
No.
should help her, actually.
How about the stress of it all?
No.
That actually relieves stress when you're doing it. With the
I agree, but planning it is not. Planning it is the stressful part. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That was last week. My nerves around it could have contributed. I just need to be better at paying attention to what's going on with me,
Yeah.
because
that's right.
that's when it's not hitting
Good,
me so
Dorothy.
hard. But when I'm not paying attention, when I start feeling the pre-shingle stuff that I feel when I'm not paying attention and I don't pre-medicate, it's way more horrible than if I'm in tune and I start medicating before the outbreak. So, but yes, thank you for that, Dorothy. Good insight.
You're on, Ruth. Anna.
Anna, I will always strive to make the next hour better than this one, which is going to be hard given this hour. So the
Oh,
next hour is going to have a hard time.
Oh,
Oh,
isn't that the truth?
yes. I always enjoy our Fridays together.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I would add what Lisa said. For some reason, one morning I got started into I had music on. I keep music on, and I started doing my Zumba routines, but they're so slow. It's so funny, and I'm not ever going to be able to do Zumba again because I don't think the balance will ever get me to where I can move swiftly. But as I did this and repeatedly did this, I actually have a Zumba routine that anybody can do because it's so slow. And I had the thought that, well, one day maybe I will do a Zumba class for people who are infirm and can no longer use their limbs to the extent that they used to do it. It
I
looks
think you have a market.
stretching class than a Zumba class, but it is a
Super gold.
commitment to music, huh?
super gold. Super slow, super gold.
Yeah, it's very slow, but it's fun. I get a kick out of it. Okay, anything else, Ruthana?
That's it for today.
Yeah. So I love the part where they talk about anything's possible. A mulberry leaf touched by the genius of woman becomes silk. And it's just wow. We take it all for granted. A field of clay touched with the genius of a man becomes a castle. a
I like your
cypress-
substituting it all for women. I found that
Yeah, that
charming.
was me. Filtered clay touched with the genius of man becomes a castle. A cypress tree touched with the genius of man becomes a shrine. A cut of sheep's hair touched with the genius of man becomes remnant for a king. And that's what we're all capable of. I mean, there's nothing to stop us. Just get into action. What was I had that very first line in this. I thought somebody would have that. For a quote, a dream without a clear vision of how to create is nothing but a fantasy. That really is. That says it all. Let's look at our lesson for next week.
Okay,
So
I have it right here.
yeah,
It's,
Gay has it. Scroll 5. I will live this day as if it is my last. And then to read from, why does it go from 205 to 209?
No, it says 209.
I know it
To
starts at 209, but
226.
we ended on 205. So what
Yeah.
happened to those pages in between? That's what I'm asking. Okay,
the pages
the
in between
journal.
are probably the characteristics and affirmations.
They are.
yeah. That's
So do we really want to skip those?
I wouldn't skip
I just put the page markers around all of it in my book.
yeah.
All right,
So
so where are we supposed to end?
on 226.
All right, what is the
Topic
headline for two
procrastination.
27? I don't have page numbers. Is living
Okay.
passion driven
You
page
stop right
227?
at procrastination, this chapter that's procrastination.
Oh, I
Okay,
see why, because those
Okay.
pages are not numbered in the book. We left off at, last time she said leave off before physical creation. You start at physical creation, that those pages are not numbered. Yeah,
Okay.
that is 209, 210. They just know, yeah, that is right. There's just no numbers on the pages. So you're starting at physical creation up to procrastination. And
yeah.
I just thought I would share this, so I just ordered this book because the energy bus, a lot of the higher ups in Power Hour, I'm stalking their pages. They're doing a lot of stuff out of this energy bus.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed this morning very much.
Likewise.
Thank you, ladies.
See everybody next week.
You betcha.
All right,
Have a
bye.
good Friday.
Happy
too.
Friday. Red Friday. Hey, Dorothy. Oh, why did I lose your voice? I have you muted?
I muted because I got a phone call.
Oh, go ahead.
You can stop your recording now.
Thank you.